break up your fallow ground. This is one of those biblical exhortations that today, for most of us who live in cities, it feels almost cryptic. What the heck does that mean? Fallow ground refers to ground that wasn't used for some time. So therefore, because of lack of use, it is actually hardened. The soil is hardened because, of course, what you do is that you plow and you break up the ground every year so that when you sow the seed, the broken up ground could easily receive the seed. But in this case, it says you have fallow ground, which is unused ground, and then that ground needs to be it's a challenging work, but you need to do the breaking up for it to be able to well receive the seed. And this is, of course, in Hosea 10:12. But also in Jeremiah 4:3, it speaks about that. But before we go there, just welcome to this morning's Jolt, the simple truth from the Word of God, hoping to quicken your heart in the Lord for the day. And please look at this with me. So Jeremiah 4:3, a part of that verse also says, break up your fallow ground and sow not among thorns. And then the next verse, circumcise yourselves to the Lord and take away the foreskins of your heart. Which of course refers to the natural state of the heart, and telling the Israelites of old to actually take off their natural ways and take off their trusting in themselves and break up their fallow ground. So this is very important because breaking up the soil of the heart, and then we can plant in a new way. Because if we do not do that, the planting will not bear fruit, and that's really the problem. You can sow all the seed you want on fallow ground. It won't have any use because the seed cannot penetrate into the ground. It doesn't have that capability. It doesn't have the wheat seeds. They just don't have that ability to dig themselves in. That's just not there. You need to prepare the ground for that. And seeds are therefore dependent on good soil. Not just that there would be enough nutrients therein, but also that the surface would not be hard, but that it would be broken up enough to receive the seed. So even though the seed is good, it could be useless, okay? And because the soil is unprepared, it is useless. So then the seed will come to nothing. Like Matthew 13:4, it says some of the seed that the sower sowed, it just went to the wayside, which is exactly the story where the feet of the people have trampled down the soil and there is no way for the seed to penetrate. So the birds see the seed and then they eat it up and the seed will not bear fruit. And this is, of course, talking about how Satan will snatch away the Word of God from our hearts when it doesn't penetrate deep, but it just resides on the surface. And this is the challenge. So the Word of God is a good seed. It is great seed. It is actually excellent seed. It is precious seed in Psalm 126 verse 6. But wasted if the soil of our heart is unready. And this is what we're talking about now. Our hearts are basically fundamentally, naturally unready. Okay, that's how it functions. It's just not ready by itself. Unless I prep it to receive the seed, it just cannot do it, because the natural attitude of my heart is that it just is sort of hardened on the surface and doesn't allow penetration of the seed, and it just won't happen. The Word of God never then goes deep. So this is interesting. I could hear so much of the Word of God and yet receive so little. And then I blame everyone and I say, the messages don't touch me. These Christians always say the same thing, I heard that before. I know John 3. Yes, I know 1 John 4. Yes, I know, it's so boring. Why is it boring? Because it's not penetrating deep. If it penetrated deep, I promise you, there wouldn't be anything boring about it, because the Word of God, it has life-giving power, it has reforming power, it has refreshing power, it has renewing power, it has amazing power. But if it doesn't go deep, then I'm gonna be like a bored little kid who is saying, "Oh, come on, why is nobody entertaining?" And what is the problem? That I haven't prepared my heart, that the surface of the soil of my heart is hardened by use, by meeting all kinds of nasty things and hardening it, and therefore I am not receiving. I hear much, but I receive so little. And these verses say that we get our hearts ready by not sticking to our natural way, our natural thoughts, our own strengths, abilities, will, and ways. We say, no, Lord, I want your way more. I'm more interested in that. I'm not interested in all my way leading me. This foreskin of the heart removed means that the natural way of my heart is, I say, I'm throwing this away. The natural way of my heart is not interesting to me. My ability, my natural choices, I'm not interested. I want yours. Okay, and this is when I break up the fallow ground and I say, I want to receive more. Jeremiah 10:23 comes to mind, but I guess we'll talk about that another time. God bless your day with that, and I trust that it's challenging enough to stir your heart, and may the Lord lead your day.